It's going to be a series of videos I'm going to do on this program. It's a very important case that we need to report on, and I'm going to do a series of videos which are going to be short so that people can get the context properly. And we are going to write articles on this, probably a series of articles to follow these investigations. Good afternoon. Today is the 20th of February, 2024. And the time is just about 28 minutes past 6 in the afternoon in Birmingham, England. I have been approached about a month ago by members, stakeholders of the Gambia Airport Association. But I took my time to verify the information that was shared to me, and I contacted people who should be in the know. I contacted other stakeholders, and especially people at the President's office, people that had preview over some of this, how this business was consumed. And the people at the President's office believe that the President did not know. The President was misled. The President has been misled into this business, which I cannot guarantee. I can't guarantee that. But the facts are here. There is a company called NIRO, N-I-R-O, taking over operations at the airport. And this company, the Vice President of the Gambia, Mr. Jallo, the Vice President of the Gambia, and officers who were technocrats of the Education Department. And one of them is Mr. Boy, who is now the Minister for Civil Services, and and other players which we are going to reveal subsequently in our delivery and in our articles. They are the people. They are silent partners behind this company called NIRO. And the CEO for the company, the original owner of the company, is called Suleiman Cham. It's called Suleiman Cham. I don't know this Suleiman Cham in person, but he's the owner of this company called NIRO. NIRO was a restaurant, and that restaurant operated. This Suleiman Cham operated a restaurant, which later turned to be a company called NIRO at Kairaba Avenue. Now, the interesting bit we are going to cover, as I said, this is just an overview. It's the corruption behind awarding this contract, which was not open for bidding. They did not tender. There's no open bidding for this, and there's a lot of lack of due process in awarding the contract and subsequently the way they play it. But to explain that the GCCA, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authorities, are responsible for the administration of the airport, and obviously they give licensing to operators. And the GIA, the Gambia International Airlines or something like that, were responsible for ground handling and other services, operational services, which they used to do. And NIRO came in as caterers. They came in for catering, which is the specialty of NIRO. They were a restaurant, and they came in for catering. They came in and got a contract for catering because there was an absence of services for in-flight catering. The company that was delivering the service was linked to the Libyan government, which was linked to Atlantic Hotel. You all know that Atlantic Hotel was doing the in-flight catering during the PPP days, and when Yahya Jammeh came, Atlantic Hotel ended up being owned by Libyans, and obviously the Libyans were operating the in-flight services, food services. But during the sanctions, these things, they were sanctioned and they were taken off the list. And Nero came in and they were given this contract. But after Nero got this contract, they went further to get another contract which they have no specialty, they have no expertise, they have no capacity to do, which is handling the flights on. We are going to go into details in this. Now, there is an issue about safety here because the experience they need, they don't have it. They don't have the staff that have the training, the quality of training they need to operate these machines and be access to this thing. But there's there's an issue about security as well. There's an issue about security, there's an issue about safety. And the issue about security, we will get to two parts of it. And the issue about security might compromise the airport operations. That further down the line, if certain things are not taken care of, it might stop some airlines, especially airline service in Europe and America. It might affect their operations in the Gambia. But we'll get to that in depth later. Now, the other part is there's a risk. There's a risk that this might open up to the drug cartel for the drug trafficking. Because behind Nero, there's an unknown investor, but who is suspected to be Egyptian. Others are saying it's a Sudanese. And Egyptian or Sudanese, we are to verify. That is an investor that is believed to be in money laundering. Money laundering, where the money is coming from, that's not established yet. But he is laundering illicit money from deals which could be drugs or looted funds in other countries or so forth. This is the questions. But again, there is a gentleman who is Francis Mendy, called Assis, Francis Mendy Assis. If you can remember, recently there was this issue about drug intercepted actually a drug syndicate operating in the airport, at the airport, probably still. And the way it came about, the way they found out, it was found out is drugs were intercepted in Belgium that was coming from Gambia through SN Brussels flights. And this Francis Mendy was in charge of that operation, was in charge of the area or services for handling the SN Brussels flight. And he was arrested and spent a day in the cells at the airport, and we all know that case was knocked off. This Francis Mendy is instrumental, playing a part in Nero, helping Nero to establish. But again, the Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority is implicated as well in facilitating Nero to take over. Apparently, because of State House is interested, and if we say State House for now, let's make it clear. I'm not accusing Adam Barrow, but we are alleging that the Vice President is part of this and head of this operation in Nero, and this will come in clear as we go into details subsequently during this time of going to different segment of what these operations and how it came about. The other interesting part is the corruption, because when we go into details, Minister Boy will find out that two of his sons are alleged to be working for Nero. Two of Mr. Boy's sons are alleged to be working for Nero, and Gambians will realize this. They are in the executive, they are in positions, and their kids, that's why you don't see their kids taking the back way. They make sure they take care of their children. But the average Gambian youth will be desperate and destitute to the extent of frustrated, the lack of hope to take the back way, because this is the way they do. They took over things and they control it. Mr. Boy is accused of alleged that he have two of his kids. But not only that. During the time of Hajj, just to prove that the Nero did not have capacity, time of Hajj, this cartel, Mr. Boy and others in the cartel, took 150 million from the accounts of the teachers' union. It's alleged that Mr. Boy and this Kabudu, the teachers' Kabudu, took over 150 million from the teachers' union account and lent it without interest being paid, not behind the scenes, lend it to Nero for Nero to able to service the Hajj operations. For Nero to able to service the Hajj operations. And these are allegations we've received, and these are things we're going to be looking over. Now, to my understanding, and the people I spoke to, these are stakeholders who have overview, who have overseen authority actually, and from the president's office onwards, this is our view here, that technically what Nero is doing, or what the vice president and his Kabudu are doing, is trying to take over businesses from the Gambia International Airlines, because there's no enough market for these operations to welcome another player. There's nothing like competitiveness in this case. Apparently, it's less than 500,000 visitors we receive. Less than 500,000 visitors we receive. Now, if the conflict of interest that's been playing out, there's a conflict of interest playing out in this. If it continue and the GIA has been marginalized, whilst Nero is being supported, GIA is subsequently will just die off, and Nero will take over. And there's a bigger indicator to that. The GIA, the GCCA and GIA were going into partnership with Ethiopian Airlines. They had a plan of development plan, but that strategic development plan ideas were stolen from them, because of 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, the chief of staff, who is part of this group, was a board member who took their business secrets and they used that business secret for Nero to operate it. Now Nero is going to represent, taking interest to work with Ethiopian Airlines, to handle Ethiopian Airlines, partnership with Ethiopian Airlines. And GIA was looking at partnership with Ethiopian Airlines in order to run a flagship this thing for the Gambia. But now it's going to Nero, a private entity. This is what's going on. That's why I said there's so much so much of things going on with this. That's why we want to take our time and go through it, segments. We're going to do videos, segments, different segments of it to report it. But we are going to write articles on different segments of it and place it. Today is just a give an overview to give Gambians the interest to look at this. And this is not isolated. It's not an isolated case. When we approach the president's office, people, let me make this first. As we always say, when we hold government accountable, or we make allegations toward government, or even a ministry, we are not blaming every individual in that ministry. We are not blaming every person, a civil servant working for the government. No. Because the only reason we can even get this information to work with, to verify, to work with this information is because of there are good people within the system. And these people, it's through those good people that came out with this disturbing practice, and to help to verify it, even to give us more it's people within the system, especially at the president's office. We can't thank them more than this thing. They are doing their duty, they are whistleblowing, and they are helping for us to hold the system accountable. As I said, taking over operations through the back way, to a corrupt way, for a company which have no competency, we have no capacity for that matter to operate, and to deny the Gambian taxpayers the benefits, it's not a new thing. The ferry services, there's already something going on with the ferry services with some talkers and so on. Again, there are civil servants behind this who are benefiting, and they are not working for the interests of the Gambian people. And there are other contracts. Just as the security report, we have civil servants and other politicians who are benefiting from the security report deal, but not Gambians. This government will sell our assets. This government will sell our productive industries to private individuals so that they will have their kickbacks, so that they can have their shares secretly, and they build themselves and their families. And all these entities, what they do is they employ their people, they employ their families. And we'll get to all this to show that the government, politicians and civil servants are not working to our interests, and this is why the things are getting difficult in that country, because of the few, 1% of that population are the people benefiting. In fact, businesses are struggling because of there's no, level playing field, in the business sector. These are all the problems we have, and inshallah we'll come back and discuss this. As I said, guys, it's just an overview. Give us time. Tomorrow probably we'll publish an article, or we'll come back tomorrow and present the first segment, and we'll go on and prove that this allegation have substance, and there's facts present, and it's up to Gambians to take this seriously and hold this accountable and stop this this company taking over from a state-owned company, bankrupting a state-owned company and taking over for the benefit of the few, and they have a risk of, in fact, exposing our airport to insecurity and the safety, compromise the safety of our airports. Thank you very much, guys. Inshallah, we'll come back tomorrow also to continue. Thank you.